I've been having some heated conversations, and I don't care for particularly either one of them. But somehow, just by me being a man, I get placed in this box if I even question anything that Kamala does. Are you guys getting that same pushback, Mia?
The job I've been I've been getting random DMs, man, about this shit,
Mm.
and I've been fighting them off by sending them to, the unread section. Yeah, a lot of people have taken this whole political election really hard, personal to heart. I don't know what aspect of it because they haven't really clarified it, but yeah.
I mean, the easiest thing to do, man, when something goes wrong, the easiest thing to do is to point. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll a person will never something will go wrong, and a person will never do this. They will always do that. They will always. That's the reason. That's the reason. A person would never point at themselves first and say, what could have we done better? Even with relationships, that's a heavy situation. You always, oh, my ex did this, my ex did that. Like I don't even like to have those conversations. What did you do? What did you add to the problem? You know what I'm saying? What could you have done better? And if somebody has no answers for that, then we can't have a conversation because you're not being real. You're not living in reality. We're not perfect. We're flawed. So if you're doing a lot of this, then I don't want to be on the end of that.
Mhm. Okay. Any of the ladies want to chime in about their experiences and how they've been feeling about this whole thing before we go ahead and dive a little deeper?
I'm just glad it's over. Um, I've been consistent from the beginning that politics are politics. Neither one of them have the best interests of the people. It's about the paper. Um, and looking at it from that perspective, I think most people are going to vote their pockets as opposed to um, what's in the betterment of the people, right? Everybody's going to choose who they want based on if it's going to benefit them. And I think not having a collective mindset is really more so the issue, because having a collective mindset, we're not depending on policy, so to speak, to govern things. It's kind of like we're looking out for each other. Like prior to, like when you look during civil rights, all of that, the politicians didn't really have us at heart, but because we worked as a collective because we both had a focus on what's in the best interest of the community and the people as a whole, um, we came together and forced policy. And I think that's what is lacking now is that everybody thinks that who they're voting for is going to have our best interests at heart. And it doesn't. Looking at both of their policies, like I went through both of them, there's one that leaned more towards helping middle class a little more, and the other one that is going to, harm the middle class, which is most where most of us fall. But truth be told, I didn't vote for either one of them. I vote what I voted based on what was most in alignment with what I agreed with, on a personal thing, and that will always trump. Um, that will always trump the game that everybody's playing, because they all in bed behind closed doors anyway. It's not even policy; it's the big businesses that are running the decisions anyway. The money. Do y'all see how much money was poured into these campaigns? That is exactly what's running running the country. So that's just my opinion. I'm just glad that it's over with. I'm tired of it.
I saw my fault. You could go, Angie.
I agree with what you said, Miss Taken, and I just really think that the president is the face of the business deal when it comes to America. So that's where I stand with it. I voted like I did. I voted for who I felt like aligned with my values and principles, more values and initiatives. But definitely, it's way deeper than that. So I think I really focused on voting for the locals. That was where I focused on.
Okay.
And I echo what both of you all just said. I've been saying that for the longest. Regardless of policies, it's about character. It's about who has our best interest at heart. That is what I've been standing on. And I'm glad it's over. And I just hate to see us as Black people get caught up into that policy debate when at the end of the day, like Ms. Taken said and like Angie said, it's really about big business. It's really not about the policies. And we need to get back to a place where we're more connected and unified in order to make a difference for us. Because at the end of the day, both of those politicians said a lot of good things, but we know what the deal is for us as Black people.
Okay. I know you mentioned something about morals and standards. Can you kind of break that down when you looked at it when it came to voting?
Are you talking about me?
Mhm.
I don't think I mentioned, well, okay, if you want to tie that into character, when I was talking about Trump.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, you have to look at when a person shows you who they are, you have to believe them, right? And there were plenty of instances where Trump showed us who he was. For example, somebody brought up the Black Lives riots and the Capitol riots. Well, Trump has had a history of spurring up hate, and he doesn't do anything about it. Wherever there's division, he continues to fuel it. And I don't want anyone in leadership who doesn't have compassion, who doesn't have, a goal to drive peace. That says a lot about who he is. It's hard to take him serious, you know what I mean, considering all of the hate crimes that were on the rise. I can't remember her name, but one of the ladies mentioned the hate crimes against Asians. And yes, they did end up getting
Ali. It was Ali.
but when all of the he didn't change the rhetoric, he didn't change the dialogue. I feel like as the president of the United States, you have a commitment to bring peace as well. It's not just about your policies, but it's about your people. It's just like with leadership in general. It's everything is not policy, but how are your people? And I just feel like his character says exactly how he feels about Black people. And just, with all of the hate crimes on the rise, the white supremacist groups that were speaking out and all of that, it shows us that Trump, low key, he's all for it. So.
Okay. Now I can understand that point, right? To me, what seems fair to do when we are participating in these elections is to look at every single thing and put everything on the table, not just one aspect of it, right? And I'm speaking from a place of I don't care for particularly either one of them. I don't know them. They can just be telling us anything that they want to tell us just to get our vote. Some things may be true, some things may be not. It's all based off assumption, and we're coming to a conclusion, which I get that you have to do, especially when it comes to who we're going to put up there in that seat. But when I look at, I agree with you when it comes to what Trump said and what he did. But I also looked at when it comes to deleting children or children that don't have the opportunity to get a chance at life. And I'm thinking as a whole. I'm not talking about somebody that's been in a domestic situation, but that's a different story. But just what's being pushed, even when it comes to genders, right? One of the things that Darwin had brought up on a few shows, and I think some of the other people did, is the family. Like nobody's focused on the family. Like what does that look like when we put these people in position? Like who's pushing more for family? Who's pushing more for division? only just hearing one or two things from here, and then everything else just gets ignored. So, like, how do you approach this situation when we're not including everything?